This might come as a shock to some of you, but Bradley Martyn is big, very big, about 60 pounds north of 200 big, I think. I'm not sure if he's ever mentioned it before.
About 260 right now.
I'm 260, bro. I mean, I'm 260, bro.
I'm 260.
I said.
Oh, what's this?
Yeah, I'm 250. No.
And in the past, he's been known to conflate his size with fighting ability and ask professional fighters whether or not they think they could beat him in a street fight to their face.
Who wins the street fight, me or you?
I swear to God,
How much you weigh?
155 right now.
How would you kill me? We run into each other in the street. Who wins, man? Who wins?
What are we boxing?
No, we're just fighting in the street. Who wins in the street fight, me or you? You're really.
I would beat
you
you
weigh
up.
like 110 pounds. Dude.
Yes, I'm smaller than you. That's. Hey, man, I would beat you up easy.
And that seemed to have stopped for a while, but recently he's been back to his BS, calling out none other than Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson.
I'm gonna crush his head on the floor.
No.
No? Mm-mm. Really?
No.
125 pounds?
I'd
But
pick him up.
125 pounds though? That's so
Demetrius,
light.
I know,
I can lift
dude.
it up with one hand.
I know. I'm telling you, he's gonna
I
get your
could
back.
throw that.
He's gonna get your neck. He's gonna get your ankles.
Someone 125 though, that 125 guy?
Mighty Mouse
feel
would.
like-
You're talking about like the best of all time.
Okay.
You wouldn't be able to touch him.
Now, I made a video about Bradley Martyn previously, and it was much more accusatory, harsh, and dismissive in tone than this one is going to be, simply because I'm a fight fan and I believe that what he's saying is stupid. But in this video, I want to try something slightly different. I want to take a moment and try to understand where he's coming from. In my personal opinion, Mighty Mouse is one of the greatest fighters ever, both in his division and pound for pound. When people think of a well-rounded MMA fighter, they usually imagine a jack of all trades, somebody that's not necessarily great at anything but good at everything. Well, Demetrius Johnson is great at everything. He has great stand-up, wrestling, submissions, and he combines it all in an incredibly creative way, like doing a mid-air armbar on Ray Borg. The guy's an absolute magician in the octagon, but there's no denying that he's small. Listed at 5'3", he might be closer to 5'1.5", and he's even small for his bantamweight weight class of 125 pounds. Walking around at around 140 pounds, where normally people in that weight class rehydrate to 150 plus pounds. He's so small that he's smaller than one of the smallest men in recorded history in Henry Cejudo. Absolutely insane. So I can maybe see where Bradley is coming from here, because Mighty Mouse is an outlier. He's truly tiny. And sometimes, very rarely, the discrepancy in size is so great that it overcomes a significant gap in skill. For example, recently Brian Shaw, famous for being one of the strongest and most massive men in the world, was able to essentially disarm UFC fighter Dustin Poirier in grappling by just laying there, and there wasn't really anything that Dustin could do about it.
I feel like this is a good position.
It's a great position.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna protect him the neck here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But just the body weight is too much.
It's too much. Yes!
Brandon Poirier has never been known for his grappling, and he let Shaw get in that position, but still, Brian Shaw is a complete novice, and size was clearly the deciding factor. Similarly, very hard punching boxing lightweight Teofimo Lopez wasn't able to do anything to strongman Thor with undefended full power body shots.
One more. One more. So you're gonna make me stronger.
And while Thor does have some boxing training, that wasn't a factor here. Anybody close to Tio's size would have folded from those. And we saw the same exact thing with Ryan Garcia and Francis Ngannou. Garcia is known to have monster power in his left hook specifically. And even though he's not considered to be the best boxer in the weight classes he fights in, he's still one of them, and he has an extensive amateur background. And at this point, Francis never had a single boxing match, but realistically, we know that even then he would take Ryan's head off. And yes, he's an MMA fighter, and some of those skills translate, but it still doesn't close the huge skill gap when it comes to their boxing. Once again, size is a deciding factor here. Would he be able to beat Ryan if he never had any combat training? training? No, absolutely not. But at the same time, I wouldn't fault anybody for thinking that he have a chance. Because he's not just big, he's a genetic anomaly athletically, an absolute tank that will probably be successful in any sport had he decided to do them professionally. A gigantic athlete with no boxing training in Shaq also gave Oscar De La Hoya all he could handle in their exhibition boxing match. So I do understand the sentiment, but as big as he is, Bradley Martyn is just not that. He's just a regular guy with big muscles, not an athletic freak. There's no speed, unnatural power, reflexes, or freaky explosiveness to his movements, which is why when somebody has a size and strength advantage over him and is also untrained, Bradley gets embarrassed.
Okay. Okay, fair enough.
But we also saw another example of size playing a factor, and that was the exhibition boxing match between Floyd Mayweather and Logan Paul. And as much as people coped and made up conspiracy theories about Floyd knocking him out and holding him up, you could clearly tell that Floyd struggled with the height and weight discrepancy. Now, he still won comfortably, and he was 18 years older than Logan and didn't train, but you could tell he was surprised by just how much he had to work, and he ultimately wasn't able to put Logan away even though he tried. And if you analyze his demeanor post-fight, he was a bit embarrassed by that.
I'm not 21 anymore, but it's good to move around with these young guys, test my skills, just to have some fun. Great young fighter, strong, tough. He's better than I thought he was. I was surprised by him tonight. Good little work, good guy.
So while the big man complex is a very real thing where physically big dudes think they can destroy anything walking just because of their size, in some situations I can kind of see where they're coming from. But once again, I have to point out that Bradley Martyn is not Logan Paul. Like it or not, Logan is a very athletic guy and was a state caliber wrestler in high school, a state caliber wrestler in Ohio, which is a powerhouse wrestling state. This isn't like qualifying for states in New Jersey or something. If you qualify in Ohio, you are a beast. And at the end of the day, you can just see how athletic he is with how easily and naturally he transitioned to professional wrestling, pulling off moves after just a couple of months of training better than some seasoned performers. But we actually got a direct comparison between Bradley and him when Bradley challenged him to a fight. And while the fight itself wasn't recorded, the aftermath was, and the general consensus from the body language and the fact that Bradley has stayed so uncharacteristically quiet afterwards was that Logan humbled him.
Sometimes, bro, boys gotta be boys, man. You didn't stop me as well. Let's go, Mike. So, by the way, that was nothing, Brad. I'll be honest. Yeah.
I did slam the
I just popped his head like a speed bag. Bing, bing, bing.
But additionally, Bradley claimed that he could beat Mighty Mouse in grappling specifically, and Mighty Mouse already competed against somebody of a similar size in a jiu-jitsu tournament.
It's a big if I don't make it, tell my story to my wife, okay?
And this was a 250-pound Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu brown belt, while Bradley isn't even a white belt. And not only is he not trained in any form of grappling, he's not even a particularly good wrestler when he's just messing around with regular people. Sure, he can dominate relatively unathletic guys half his size with no training like Bryce Hall, but whenever it's somebody untrained close to his size, he loses badly.
Just walked out to this. What's going on? Who's winning? Not Bradley. Let me tell you. Oh my!
There you go.
Oh, there we go.
There you go.
Ah, okay.
Tap it out. Tap it out. Tap it out.
Whoa!
Tap it out. Tap it out. There you go.
Oh!
based on that information, I have to say that Mighty Mouse would easily destroy him. And when it comes to this topic, I feel like a lot of people have been getting really annoyed with Bradley Martyn, because usually people expect somebody that big that puts out generally positive fitness type content to be a gentle giant, somebody that's secure in who he is and doesn't go out of his way to look for confrontations. You have to remember that a lot of Bradley's audience consists of 15 to 30-year-old guys that are on a self-improvement journey, and they view him and his lifestyle as something positive to aspire to, therefore they expect him to behave in a certain dignified and unbothered way. But Bradley has been proven himself to be anything but stoic. He's actually pretty aggressive with a short fuse when his ego is hurt, and when somebody challenges him to anything physical as a joke or for content, he goes unnecessarily hard against them, often hurting them in the process.
I did not go hard on you.
What?
Bro, I did not
That's
go hard.
cap.
I did not go hard.
You were trying to, I saw in your face.
Run back to 90%. Run back.
He was trying. What he was throwing.
And that's not to say that some of those people didn't have it coming, but he's really been coming across as sensitive and insecure, like a 260-pound guy with a Napoleon complex. And at times, he flies off the handle completely unexpectedly.
I'm gonna humiliate you.
You think it's flat?
If I answer this, you're gonna get clipped and get humiliated.
About it being flat?
About the sun. Are you
Someone
sure?
told here.
All right,
hold on.
No, don't run.
Hold on, listen.
Now we go. Now we get the view.
Hold on, listen.
Listen to what Bradley just said.
Hey,
go ahead.
Listen to what I'm saying.
Why are you getting mad?
Because I'm talking to you right now. Listen.
He presents himself as a fun-loving guy, and I'm sure he is, but he seems to have a real anger problem and a possible inferiority complex. It's like he has to be viewed in a certain light, otherwise his identity crumbles and he becomes distraught. Like when he play wrestled much smaller and older comedian Brian Callen, and it turned out to be way harder than he thought it'd be.
Hang in there, Brian. Oh, yes. Oh, no.
Dude, that's gonna rush my neck. Sorry. But see, do you see how you got flipped at least with an idiot like me?
I know, I was trying not to go too hard.
But you know what I mean? Like,
I was trying not to.
yeah. But I mean, you're strong, you're very powerful, but you're still getting, you know, that's an example of you just got
But it's also me trying to like not hurt you.
Right.
Him saying he could have gone harder is obvious cope out of embarrassment that the big buff guy couldn't destroy the decrepit comedian. If he was a little more secure in his identity, he likely would have taken a different approach and just acted surprised and gave Brian props for being a little better than he thought he was. Because it really was not that serious, but for some reason, it's imperative to Bradley to be viewed as a tough guy, when he's not. He's viewed as a fitness guy. But with that said, I can't deny that he's also a great marketer. And he plays into the 260 meme a lot because he wants to go viral and have people make reaction videos to how ridiculous he is. But everybody knows that there's a sliver of truth to every joke, and it's pretty obvious that he genuinely believes that he can beat some fighters.
Devin Haney in a street fight, I'll beat the out of him though. I really do believe that. 150 pounds. I do believe this one.
But besides his out of nowhere rage moments, Bradley does seem like an overall nice guy. And he does have his demons. For those that don't know, his dad took his own life when he was young, and Bradley will be the first to admit that it affected him a lot and justifiably made him pretty angry. So he's also a person that consciously recognizes the problem and works on it, and I can't do anything but respect that and also make videos about him for views. But let me know what you think about my take in the comments down below. Like the video if you liked it, and if you want to see more videos like this, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell next to it. And if you want to support the channel further and get perks like highlighted comments and early access to videos, become a member by hitting the join button if you're on Android or desktop, or the link in the description if you're on iOS.
In your life, whatever sort of issues you go through, if you don't spend time being in it, sitting in it, thinking about it, processing it, and not just going like, man, this happened to me and this is how I feel and I feel bad, but also trying to recognize how you showed up in it, how you essentially got yourself there. Because this is the thing that it's hard to accept for a lot of people, but things don't just happen to you, right? You cause a lot of the things that are happening in your life.